Chris Doering joins the show. We're about to talk to him about the Florida job opening and some games. I just hate that we get bogged down in just coaching search during the middle of actual games. But we've got to talk to him about the Florida job.
I mean, we can't have on a legendary Florida player that is now with the SEC Network and not ask about this. What is up, Doering? How are you?
I'm good, man. Good morning. Good to be back with you boys.
Yeah, it's always appreciated. You're on the Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys Hotline. I mean, the Billy Napier thing was inevitable. It's weird that it comes after a win, but the bye week was the mitigating factor there, right? You fire him, so you got a bye week to get everything, and everything dies down before the cocktail party.
Yeah, I don't know that the reports were accurate that he was going to be fired, whether they won or not. Obviously, we don't know for sure. But I think the way the game played out on Saturday was kind of a microcosm of the whole Billy Napier experience. It was one that showed, a lot of promise. There were times that you felt good in that game. You have a big lead heading into the fourth quarter, and then you give up almost 200 yards of offense in that quarter alone and let Mississippi State come back. Honestly, I said it at halftime. It felt a lot like the USF game where you weren't taking advantage of red zone trips down there and having to kick field goals, letting Mississippi State hang around, and then ultimately a bad play call on 3rd and 1 forces you to punt the ball back to Mississippi State, who goes right down the field on you and is in field goal range. If not for a questionable call by Jeff Levy to throw the football there, Florida probably loses that game. But all of that feels like a moot point at this the stage in the game when you move on from Billy Napier. All the attention now in Gainesville is on who the next coach is going to be. And there's one guy that everybody has kind of their focus on. And I wonder, guys, if that doesn't work out, how negative things are going to be going forward with a fan base that seems to only be happy if it ends up being one guy.
Yeah, and that one guy, Lane Kiffin, I think he's your favorite right now. I believe he's going to end up being that guy. This pure speculation on my part. But the guys we talked about, Kiffin the favorite, the unknown, and Drinkwitz, who's done a great job at Missouri, and then the known as far as you know what you're getting in James Franklin. I would assume Franklin would not be a fan favorite. Where would people be on Eli Drinkwitz?
Yeah, I think, I want to comment on the things that Eli has done to this point in time, and that's, creating a ton of success there at a program that had been down a little bit before he took over. A guy that's done it with an entertaining offensive style of football and given the play calling duties over to Kirby Moore has certainly benefited the team and him as the CEO of that team. The recruiting, what he's done to set up from an NIL standpoint and the draw within the state of Missouri, all of these things are things I think that would be on the list of Scott Strickland's when it comes to what you're looking for. I honestly believe that it has to be winning at Florida is not enough. You have to win with a style of offensive football where you're scoring a lot of points and you're beating teams decisively. It didn't work very well when Will Muschamp, had a 10-win season that was predicated on playing defense and having a bunch of close ball games. So I do think that there is a certain fit that has to be, addressed when you're looking at filling that job in Gainesville. And I think there's only a handful of people out there that kind of fit that mold. And honestly, Drink would be one of them. I'm not advocating, again, one SEC coach leaving for another SEC school, but you're talking about what Florida's looking for. I think it has to be somebody that's had success at the highest level, particularly understanding how to win within this conference.
I see the hotels that you're in when you're there at Charlotte and all that. Why does the SEC Network not just buy a house, a big house, and let you and Kublik and Harp and all the analysts that come in and out throughout the week, you live in the house? It also could be side programming. That would make more sense to me.
That would actually be good, man. I'd be all about like kind of a real world kind of thing. I don't know that we'd have the arguments that the real world folks did, but in terms of having some off camera fun, I think it would be good. But yeah, man, I'm grateful that they don't have that set up because I'm executive platinum on American Airlines and I'm the highest tier. I guess I'm titanium with Marriott. So it benefits me in the off season for sure.
Chris Doering, he's got to catch one of those flights in just a few minutes. So we're going to go rapid fire here. The coach everybody talks about with Florida is in a massive game this Saturday against Oklahoma because Doering, if Ole Miss wins this game, boy, their path to the playoffs is about as smooth as you're going to find in the SEC.
No doubt. I think we're looking at everybody else's schedules. How are they going to navigate this the rest of the way? We talked a lot about Texas's schedule over the next 5 games and how challenging that is. I feel like this is a game that gives you some margin for error. a lot of these teams, as soon as they got that first loss of the season, you look at that net kind of being removed and playing, walking that tightrope walk against some very difficult teams. That's not the case for Ole Miss. This is going to be. It's crazy though to think about that. The point spread. Oklahoma's favored in this ball game. I know it has a lot to do with Oklahoma's defense. The defensive line is amongst the best in the entire country. But I am curious as to what they can do to get anything going consistently on offense. They ran the ball better against South Carolina, which was nice to see. But I still do have some question about where Oklahoma is offensively since John Mateer's returned for that thumb injury.
So, Doering, I think the SEC is getting 5 in this year, and I think a game that nobody's talking about, and I think it's an elimination game, but also maybe a play-in game, is Vanderbilt and Missouri, a top 15 matchup this weekend that nobody's talking about. But I believe the winner of that game, especially if it's Vanderbilt, I think they're going to go 10-2 and get in.
We did the analytics the other day on our show, and I think for the winner, it gives them a 50% or more likelihood of getting into the college football playoff. And on the other side, to your point about an elimination game, I think it takes it down to like 13% for the loser, a chance to get in. So this is a must-have game. And it features two teams that I think are among the most complete teams in the SEC. Vanderbilt's right up at the top, man. In my power rankings this week, I had Alabama 1, Georgia 2, and then Vanderbilt at number 3. Everybody talks about Diego Pavia, but it's more than Pavia. It's a veteran, experienced offensive line, physically and emotionally mature. It's a talented group of skill position players around him. And a defense, I don't think people give enough credit to Vanderbilt's defense and how good that defensive front is. They are penetrating. They're disruptive. This is going to be a challenge for Missouri. I go back and I've started to lose a little steam on Missouri lately with teams understanding that they got to stop Ahmad Hardy in that run game. Bo Pribula had some chances to make some plays down the field. Hasn't been able to do that, consistently enough. So I think that's the game plan. You're going to see the Vanderbilt Commodores bring a lot of pressure, try to disrupt, stop the run first and foremost, and make Pribula beat you.
I love a man who's not afraid to get male cheerleaders mad at him. You went Alabama, Georgia, Vandy, the only unbeaten team in the SEC, Texas A&M. You didn't have in the top 3 of your power rating.
Here's the thing: I think they have the highest ceiling of any team in the SEC. That includes Alabama and Georgia. The problem is they still revert to some of the things that concerned me early in the season. Giving up 268 yards rushing against Arkansas on Saturday is concerning to me. The inconsistency sometime in the passing game with Marcel Reed is concerning to me. Plus, you talk about that undefeated schedule right now, or undefeated record. They've done it against bottom feeder schools in the SEC, including my alma mater. So, you haven't necessarily been challenged by the best yet. And I think all of us, including their own fan base, have that same battered Aggie syndrome where we're concerned about the fade down the stretch. Until I see something different, I'm going to have a hard time suspending my disbelief as to what's come, because I've seen this story over and over with Texas A&M.
All right, Doering's got to catch a flight. He made it just sound like he's got the option of sitting in the cockpit when he flies American. I don't know if it's that good.
No, it means he only gets the attractive flight attendants.
Oh, okay.
Hey, let me tell you a story. I had to actually fly yesterday on an alternate airline because of the schedule.
Terrible.
But I had the rare – this is like one of the things in life that you celebrate a lot, and it's like getting a great parking spot somewhere. I got off the plane and realized that I was on that same plate at the same gate in Atlanta, so I didn't have to go anywhere. Wow. And I felt like I hit the home run. Yeah. Got back on, and the flight attendants, were on me about not bringing them Starbucks. And so, we were chatting it up a little bit. Then I leave. I eat at Squid Ink here in Mobile yesterday. I'm walking back, and I hear this whistle. I thought it was a dude. I look back. It's the flight attendant. So I sat down, had some mimosas with the flight attendants. It was eerie.
So what happened after the mimosas with the flight attendants?
I was a good boy and had to go to the charity event.
Well, let me be the first to say thank you for your service.
Hat tip to Chris Doering.
Bottomless mimosas.
See ya. Don't get any more trouble. All right, Chris Doering with us on the Alexander Shador and Trial Attorneys Hotline. Fantastic story to wrap with there, buddy.
Yeah.